Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here. Lesson of the Covenant. Break our 7 seals. Brothers and sisters, we're at a crucial time in history, most crucial time, because it says unprecedented. It means most crucial time in our history. Many will be lost because of it, because it's a critical time, but they don't have knowledge of it. And will willingly or unwillingly react appropriately and timely to survive it. So I'm going to go in and I have a presentation prepared. Again, it takes hours to do these things and all the resistance. But you know, brothers and sisters, you need to ask yourself a question. Those you claim to be Elijah, what if Elijah, right, showed up right now and saw the result of some years of work? Some years of work. Now I'm having a problem with my camera here now. That did happen. Oh, brothers and sisters. Hold on. I never seen anything like this happen. Show it here, but it's not. That's a good one. Hold on. There it is. Well, how do you think you feel about the effort, time you put in for some years, and they've turned to shit? Because this is not Elijah Muhammad's teachings. I was there. I know it's not even close. They totally against everything he said. So how do you think you feel about that? He voted 40-some years of his life. Went to prison, in prison, right? Suffered physical issues because of being in prison, not being able to eat properly. He knew how to eat properly, he wasn't able to, because and things like that. And some by his own family. What do you think? What do you think the God would think? He says, I came here, I spent several years here. They even threw me in jail. I raised up a messenger to you. Prime beef. Right? Prime. Best. Elijah Muhammad, the best of the best. Because he went up against the worst of the worst. He didn't knock out the beast, but he went toe-to-toe with him. Right? They pulled Elijah out. They went toe-to-toe for some years. Right? God, and then it's like it never even happened. In fact, in some ways, it's better if Elijah never even came. Because what you've taken is, you're taking his teachings and distorted it and causing all the problems. It's his teaching that's causing all the problems, your version of it. Because all these clowns out there, right? How do you think you feel about that? Tell you how you felt about it. Nexus. He was very angry. Very angry. And the God was angry too. God said, man, And that's just showing you on paper. I mean, what's the reality when you actually meet him? And then you have the Messiah of the Covenant. He's not even a Levite. He get the best of his years, 30, 35, the best of his years. Right? He was about 40 when he you had to take it from there because I mean you can take it from the time he was with Elijah and that would 15 years, right? That'd be what? That'd be 50 some years. Because he joined up with Elijah when he was 21. So what that make him, right? Maybe 50, 55, 50, 55 years now? But 25 years since the angel. Total commitment. I don't think anybody could deny that. Can't move them, can't move the Levites, boy. I refuse to move. Can't move them. It's for them. Don't need them. It's for them. Because remember, God told Elijah, just forget about them, man. Just forget about it. I'll just make a great nation out of you. It's just your seed. Just that's what he said. Just forget about them. And Moses kept saying, no, come on, just give him an extra. I kept pleading for him. It's amazing, too, because Jonah, he said, heck, well, then he said, well, it's like it's mixed feelings with the Levites. One man you want to kill him, next man you want to, try to help him. You got both feelings with Moses and but one time, one minute Moses wanted to kill them all. Next minute he's saying, come on, just just calm down. He's telling God, calm down. Wait down. He said, calm down a little bit, right? And then he goes forward. He started tearing everything up. And even in the Quran, he grabbed everybody who wanted to kill him. It's like a love-hate relationship with these Levites. And apparently everybody cares more about them than they care about themselves. Because they have done absolutely nothing for themselves. They've created more trouble. You got people out there, I mean, all of them wants to be gods, claim themselves gods. Well, the time has run out. It's when, where they say, sink or swim. They got to me more choice words. I'm not going to use them. But their time's run out now. They don't wake up now. They don't wake up at all. And no drowsy. You can't be drowsy. Can't be. Oh hell, no. Can't be that because that's what's happening now. I mean, oh yeah, man. I'm with you, bro. Wake me up in about a couple of hours, man, and I'll be down there. I'm right behind you. I have no idea. That's what Elijah told that brother, that Levite brother. Said, "You not brother," because he was, it was typical. I was watching him. Elijah. This was doing theology of time. And I was on post, right? And brother jumped up. We wasn't, FY wasn't supposed to answer Elijah's question. That was for the Lost Founds, right? But his brother was fired up, right? And see, me, about 23 years old at the time. He's about my age, maybe a little younger. He jumped up, oh, little Bob, he was excited. Man, I'd be glad when we go take care of this and do this, whatever, and get home. But I said, oh, hold it, brother, stop. I ain't do it, But he put it, the brakes on. Hold it, but you have no idea, don't pray for it. He told him, do not pray for this day. Because the brother couldn't wait to get this day. He told him, don't pray for this day, where we are right now. Because he said, you don't know what you're up against. And, I mean, the place got quiet. Because everybody was thinking, man, ooh, when this day come, man, we want smooth ease right on in. He said, no, don't. Don't pray. Don't even pray for it. So in other words, the day before we supposed to get home, that's the day you should be looking forward to, right? But he says, no, do not pray for that day. And what the Quran says, you think you get into perhaps like going to this? He said, you don't know what you're up against. That means Elijah did know, because he couldn't tell him that. But because he said a couple of things. I remember him saying, there's some things I'd like to tell you, but I have to ask the Savior, it's okay to tell you. He came back and said, the Savior said, don't tell him. I said back up listening, what's this all about? And now I see. Because Levites are not prepared at all. In fact, they're worse off. This day should be standing up, holding the head up high. This day should be on the way home. Instead, they got to walk through hellfire. And all that making. They had to pay attention to Master Muhammad, follow through Elijah. Be smooth sailing around out here. But the devil even knew what happened. But now the devil knows. He's on the case. Like I said, if he knew the hour the house be broke into, he wouldn't prevent it. See? And that's how they broke into the house. He said, Elijah, to pull you out of here. And you didn't. By that time, the devil figured out what was going on. He closed that door. So we're going to talk about that, brothers and sisters. I see why they chose me. But I ain't feeling it. Because I don't do anything half-assed. And once I agree to do something, I do it. But I should never agree to do this. I should never agree to do this. But like I said, if I saw it coming, I'd have ran like hell. They tricked me to this one. Because I tell you, ooh, this is... Yeah, I ain't look for any followers. I don't want any. That's the point. I don't want any because that's more of a problem. If I didn't know the science of this, there's no way I could do it. I didn't understand the science behind it and what it takes. I'm going to talk about that a little more. Resonance. If I didn't understand the science, no way I could have done this. So the good part of it is that's like you put enough pressure on something, it has to transform either positive transformation or negative transformation. It's like the Islamic Empire put so much pressure on the atom, right? Cause they're transforming this, democracy, copy, all that kind of stuff, a whole new system. See, but you had the ability to transform. So of course, it transform to a stronger. When you put so much pressure, it's going to either get stronger to offset that pressure, or it's going to be crushed by it. Now the pressure is so great they don't have the ability to transform any further. That's how coal transfer into a diamond. Oh, I heard somewhere this week or last week, someone said that the nappy hair is a curse. Nappy hair is not a curse. You don't understand that. See, people don't pay attention to what Elijah Muhammad said. Dr. Yaqub made us the best we could possibly be. He put all that pressure on these genes, right? Depends for this. Because the Holocaust would be even worse, right? But the parents for the Holocaust, so we could even deal with the Holocaust. So in other words, he made genetically. In other words, he brought the best genetics of us. So nappy hair and a darker skin and the fuller breast, that's where the gods looked. That's how they distinguished the gods, because they was walking around with woolly hair. And how his sisters look so elegant when they got the hair like a queen. So people just get stuff all messed up, like they want to deny the hair. No, that's why we could make it the gods, because woolly hair is the scientists and everything. Remember, they was the best of the best, and that's the kind of hair. That's how people recognize him. Ooh, he was right direct from the scientists. That was royalty. See? You go straighten your hair, that's like, you're saying, well, I don't want that cake, man. I really had the shit. No. That's what the God said. Look. It says, make us man like this in our image. They're going to turn your nappy head back straight. Got a lot to learn about, sisters. Let me move on. Let me move on. I see Mr. Ishmael over here. He got a little straight head on him. His mother she wasn't white. She was, because she was in her complexion, she was totally white. Was she a demon or not? I don't know. If you ever met her or saw her, she carried herself in a very, like she was big shit. Oh, and she used to wear a crown on her head. Right. And they took that money and ran down Mexico, hid down there. And that after a lot of mama departed. So I threw it out there. Anyway, these clowns right here, I could tell you some things, but I ain't. I let them suffer the shock of the hour, because it will be a shock. Move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, let me play a couple of things here. Let me get to the point. I do not plan on doing 2 hours a day. A lot of issues today. But I didn't realize that. I realized I did 2 yesterday. Look, I said, man, well, I'm going to do a half an hour, I end up doing 2 hours.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flager as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is, you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor,
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm only one shade lighter than you, so. And Mustafa maybe 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you. Go ahead.
One more time, brother.
Had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with Elijah. Elijah's been sick, a stroke, something like that, and that's just probably his son there. Holy. Performance like that, a minister pull some crap like that, mention him around. Ooh. Again, Elijah, he made an agreement from him. He said, okay, I'll do this. He just said, I'm just going to do a carte blanche. As long as you protect my family, even my family. He said, okay. So he was protected. I mean, they threw him in jail, but nobody put a hand on him. Not ever. And so no one's put a hand on me. They has access, few access, but I was. The point is that he gave up everything. They were trying to kill him. He was in prison for years. On the run. Illnesses because of being in prison. Right? Alienation from his children. I mean, all those sacrifices. For what? And Levi just walked away from like it was nothing. You can't get them to sweep the floor. Can't get them to do anything. You got to push them. And all this work done for them. Well, the ones that's lost, I guess they'll be like Pharaoh, right? Because it does. We got. I should show that picture. There was a picture. It was an FY meeting. It's probably MGT2 because I'm not AG2, so I never went there, right? FME is a bigger picture. Now, I played it the other day. I should include here. The messengers on the boat. There's planes and everything carrying all the believers out of here. He's on the top, in the front end of the boat, looking back towards America. On the shore is America. All the Negro buses stay behind for preparation, all that kind of stuff. And those were whooping their ass with sticks. Nice, they're whooping. Right? And the man said, boy, if they just listen to me, because they was whooping their ass. But according to Farrakhan, that picture was a lie. We ain't going nowhere. God's a liar. He said that. I don't know why he told you he's going somewhere. He must just playing with you, because you ain't going nowhere. See, and you ask yourself, how? And I've made it very clear. I'm going to go over it again. See, because one of my missions is to take out son of perdition. See, one of the reasons, because he's the hidden enemy. He's one of the worst. He's the one confusing our people. A lot of them couldn't be confused if they was just step up. Just think a little bit. So some are willingly confused. That's the worst kind. Because it's easy. They made it so easy. He's the easiest villain the Bible ever present. Right? Easiest one to recognize. Even the jinn is not easy to recognize. Satan ain't that easy to recognize either. Lucifer's hard, almost impossible. They don't know who those people are dragging. But son of perdition, hell. Ray Charles could see him. I mean, everywhere you look. Anytime you breathe, you smell this shit. You see this shit. You feel this shit. He said, they made it so easy to recognize them. So he said, well, what happened? The demons could be with them. And we know that. They have no choice. But how's anybody else possibly with them? When it's so easy to recognize them. If you just read any of that stuff. Oh, but he's so cute. Anyway, I keep telling people about the consequence. See, that's one of the things they use to trick. It's like to trip you up. Because they taught you. Remember, it says they had no fear of God means they had no fear of consequence. If you had no fear of consequence, then you will not have no reason for discipline. You know what motivation discipline? Because discipline is what protects you from consequence. See? Discipline is what protects you from consequence. Because the consequence most is right? Negative consequence is a result of lack of discipline. Lack of love. The law is about discipline. The law is. You gotta obey it. That's discipline. So they taught you not to be no discipline. So you have no fear of consequence. That's why Farrakhan didn't get you so easily. Because you ain't worried about anything, because especially if you're in the church, preachers get you. They tell you, you don't have to worry about it. No, all you gotta do is say, pray to Jesus. Say, Jesus, I'm gonna confess, and all your sins are. And that's what the Catholic Church did for 1,000 years. They still do it now. All you gotta do is, that's why it's so-called all mafias, the so-called mafia and all that kind of stuff, right? They can just kill because they know all they got to just go and say, tell the priest, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it, right? You say, okay, son, right? You put something in the plate, three Hail Marys, you forgive it. So why would you stop doing it? If that's all you got to do, forgive it. And they taught, and so therefore, and that's locked into your mind. And so whether you with Farrakhan or not, still, you have no sense of consequence. If you did, you would look into what the hell that's all about. If you had a fear of consequence, you would not sit around here and let somebody control your soul, believing that you're going to go to heaven after you die and all this kind of stuff. You would check that out. You check it out. If you had a fear of consequence. But you don't. They say they had no love for the truth, no love of righteousness. They don't fear God. They don't fear consequence. So therefore, it don't matter. Well, why worry about that, man? I ain't gonna worry about it. I mean, I had the people. I talked to this brother at the gym, right? And I was telling, and he says, Father, preacher, I ain't gonna deal with that because, usually we are, pretty cool. I don't get no politics no with him. But when the war broke out, I said, well, let me pull the brother's coat, right? I don't worry about stuff like that because Jesus gonna take care of it. Well, it's up to God whatever happens. They said now, we're gonna say it when the fire comes in, you see? And that's what you're dealing with. That's part of what you're dealing with. That's why you can't get Levites doing anything. Because they don't really have any fear of consequence. Because if you had a fear of consequence, right? If you feel that fire's going to burn your ass, you're going to move. But if you think, well, maybe it will, maybe it won't, or the fire go out, or they got fire still, you're not going to do it. That's the only elevated place, all by their marks. You ever pay attention to what they mean by there? That's why you can't fool me with your bullshit. Because if you was down real with this, your action would be totally different. Totally different. Totally different. Because, like I said, somebody seeing is believing. And they tell the believers go down that road, because when you see it, it's going to be too late then. If you don't act until you see it, I see the flood now. You have ark? Okay. Good. First, the messengers come to get you prepared for the calamity that's coming. The new season's coming. Not to save you from it. To save you from it not personally save you, by giving you information so you prepare for it. So you tell them no, so you can build an ark. Plenty of time so you can have time to build it. And these Levites, they're not doing it. They don't get it. And they're not even prepared, not even close. And remember said, that was the whole thing about the messenger coming. He's supposed to prepare the way, right? For him to come and do what he needs to get you hell out of here. He let him have prepared the way. And then it didn't go anywhere because a robber stole it and so forth and so on, but they couldn't have done it. There's no way Farrakhan could have got off onto first base if anybody had just paid attention to the scriptures, pay attention to any of that. If you just read Exodus, you say, Elijah's going, I got to watch out now because this Aaron guy's coming. That should have been your attitude. You read if you're saying, because before that it was clear Exodus from when you find Elijah, it was clear Exodus was our history, future history. Who's the people of Exodus? It was clear. So if you understand it, say, oh, Elijah's going to depart. And that's what I'm saying. I was got me said, why is everybody upset about Elijah's departing? I mean, don't they believe what Exodus says? That's why I said, then I wasn't shocked by it. Right? I wasn't shocked by it. I was a little dismayed because they hid the fact that I mean, he was in the hospital. He was sending messages back and forth. We had a vigil. And we was coming to the temple every night. I don't know about the sisters, but I know the brothers came to the temple every night. And Elijah Muhammad would send a message back and forth. And if it's like, oh, let me see, I remember that last message. Oh boy, I can't believe I forgot that last message. I got it written down so well. My short-term memory, I guess I'm overloading my memory. I can remember these days, it's an angel. But he sent messages back and forth. And then we hear a message anymore. And they told us on Savior's Day, but he was gone 2 days before that. They hid it. Now, there was never a funeral. Nobody ever saw the body, anything. Strange. Right? So even if he just departed and just left, and they knew he was alive, right? But that wasn't the case. Because there was a body there, at least my understanding. But if this is the Quran, it looks like, based on, it was not the body of the messenger. I don't know if the messenger is alive or not. I believe he is. No, I never talked to him. He never talked to me. He sent me letters when he was around. I believe he's there. I believe what the angel says he does, so I go with that. Right? I have no mathematical proof of it. I do have mathematical proof of the angel, but not whether he's alive or not. So I only speak definitive of things I can prove mathematically. I cannot prove that mathematically. That's one of the things I do have faith in, I believe. Right? But I do have proof mathematically from Muhammad who he is. There's no doubt. And the thing is, it's described that he was father would be original as well. But see, you don't understand it. If you understood the angel, you understand, and you understood Daniel. Daniel's a sealed book too. And Darius, see, you don't know. They couldn't tell you who Michael is. Michael's master from Muhammad. See? Darius is master from Muhammad. It's just different, right? He's the one who takes down Babylon. If you look at Darius, his father was original. He was like a king or something. King of I think it was king of Egypt. I don't know. It was a big king of a whole region over there. I forget it. But his mother was Esther. Esther was a Caucasian Jew. That was Darius' mother. But father was the original king. Right? So on based on that, his mother would be Caucasian, his father would be original. And when I heard Elijah Muhammad say, I said, okay, that's business. Because how would he know? Unless he, unless he understood Daniel, but it's still a book too. Nobody would be unbreak. Because I don't talk about that much, but no one was able to unseal. It doesn't say it specifically. But see, it does say it, but you don't understand it. Because Daniel and angels, they connected. They're part of the same book. And no one's ever broke down Daniel either, not even close. Not even close. That's another sign. Let me move on, brother and sister, because I'll be 2 or 3 hours. I don't have no attention to that today. But things I can prove mathematically, I'm definitive on. Things I can't, I'll just say there's a couple things that matter of faith. Right? And mathematically, right, I can prove that Master Muhammad is who he is, that he's alive. And he's doing the things that, right? You can't prove that Elijah's alive mathematically. Prove it scripturally, right? Not mathematically. And there's a difference there. I prove the angel's correct mathematically. Otherwise, yeah, it's a tough book and no one can figure it out, but so But when you get the mathematics on you, okay, yeah, okay, it's valid. Okay, let's go. But again, that little thing he just did. So we want to see what else got here, brothers and sisters. We're going to talk about this conspiracy. So it took a long time to put together, and everything's not quite organized like I wanted to have it. But I've been there a couple of hours, and I don't think it was absolutely necessary that. But I might be winging through a couple of things here. Let's see what this is here. Okay, see here. Come, let us deal wisely with them. See, the big problem here is, who is the them? That's then what you know, who the them is. They tell you that's false Israel. Let's deal wisely with them. See? So that means they're doing it the way you won't see it coming. And that's that fear they had, right? That they're for a time of war. And that's where we are right now. Because everybody's talking, everybody knows this is going to be blowing to, it's getting hotter and hotter every day. They're talking World War III. If you pay attention to the internet or YouTube or anything, you know that it's getting hotter and hotter every day. There's nothing calming down, nothing cooling down. Some people can't understand why it's blown up already. But they've already committed themselves to say, I think Russia, Putin's, what his name is, right? He says, we're in World War III already. Somebody already claimed. Because you understand how World War II started. World War II was going over there for like 2 years before people in America even felt anything of it. And they didn't feel getting any contact with it until Pearl Harbor. That's no story. Move on. And war falls out, and they join enemies, fight against us. Why would they fight against us? So if that's false Israel, they think false Israel is going to fight against them, right? But remember, whoever this is, if you read this stuff carefully, who it is, right? In captivity to whoever's telling us to deal wisely with them. At least they multiply. In other words, they don't want them to multiply. And if you look earlier, talking about abortion. So these people that had this is a people under their control. It comes to hand before, because remember, it's two type of people here. See, and one is controlled by another. I tell you, read this stuff. It comes to pass that when there falls out of war, any war, they join unto they. Remember, it's they. So in other words, it's the other. They join to our enemies. Right? So they're enemy people. They fight against us. Why would they fight against us? Unless there was some kind of retaliation or vengeance going on. And then why would they want to leave the land? But this is their land. They ain't from here. So if you read this carefully, it tells you these people are strangers' land. They've been oppressed here. They're not the same people. They're under control of some other people. They try they try to keep, and it's a bunch of them. They try to keep from multiplying. And so they got a plan to get rid of them. Remember, they got a plan to get rid of them. We deal wisely with them. They got a plan to get rid of these people, whoever they are. They got a plan, keep that in mind, and a plan that you won't see. So that's why false Israel, because it doesn't fit. Because first of all, false Israel's not locked in here. They can go over there wherever they live. They're not locked in here. Right? And why would they fight against America? America's, why do they join with America's enemies? Because they all depend upon America. So it's not them. And they ain't from here. Whoever it is, they ain't from here. So you can't say that's false Israel here. They're not captivity here. See, if you read things carefully. Come on, brothers and sisters. But the point is, they got a plan. Let's go a little further. Let's say. Look here. They have said, come and let us wipe them out as a nation. It's a nation, right? That's here. So another nation, a sovereign nation. The name of, and that nation name is Israel. Nobody remembers, so people don't even know who, they want to wipe them out totally. So they don't be, right? So they made shrewd plans. That means they're thinking day and night. They made shrewd plans that you won't see coming to get rid of you. They make shrewd plans against your people. Conspire together against your treasure. When they have said, let's wipe them out. They have conspired together one mind to make covenant against you. This is what it's saying. So if you're going to say as far as Israel, I don't think you can make that case. It's us. That means they are planning day and night to destroy you. No matter what okay, they wouldn't do that. Look, they're going to plan secretly. You think they're going to tell you they're doing that? You think they put a worm on a hook? They put a sign on the hook, say, "Hey worm, hey fish, there's a hook on this. There's a hook on this worm." I just can't get through to, right? Resin. I keep doing it. But we got a time frame. The lesson tell you guys we got a time frame here, and I ain't backing off. I mean, in fact, if I backed off right now, I'd be 35 years for nothing, because that resonance, once you break that frequency, you got to start all over again. I ain't doing no 35 years of this. There's no way. 35 years of this. And they don't know what the frequency is, and I'm not telling them. Frequency be once a year, be once a month. Okay. You can increase the frequency, but you can't decrease it. You increase the frequency, that means that the resonance is even stronger. You make it have it happen quicker. If you decrease the frequency, okay, how do you resonance? Let me put it this way. I punch you. Your body can absorb that punch, and after a while, absorbing, like, your body adjusts to it. It's okay. It's like you don't feel anything anymore. You adjust it. Right? Hit you again after that. Okay, same thing again. So say take a month for you, take a week for you to recover every time I hit you. Week for you to recover, right? Okay. Every time I hit you, right? So what if I hit you 2 times a week? That means the second time I hit you, you still suffer from the first one. That means it's going to make it even worse. Now, because you got double the pain, so it's going to take you more than a week to recover, because you got twice as much now. You see what I'm saying? Well, hit the 3rd time before you recover, a 4th time. So it's building up. So it builds so much, right, that you may break some bones or something. But your body, you're not giving body a chance to heal anything. The same thing. That's why if you take and you jump in a pool, you splat, okay, no problem. But if you jump in that same pool from about the 4th-story building, it's gonna feel like concrete. Why? Because the water has a reaction rate. And if you hit it before it you apply force before it can fully react, then if it don't react, it's like a solid rock. Because when you react, when you jump into it, it reacts, so it's smooth up. So you don't feel it because it absorbs your force. But if you hit it like that, it can't absorb your force that fast. So you jumped in for a 3 or 4 building, you might as well have jumped into some concrete. If you understand how resonance works. That's why I'm talking about it. See, I told you it's a mathematical book, because the whole concept of the walls of Jericho is based on resonance. Just keep saying the same thing over and over, but at a certain frequency, the walls came down. I'm a mathematician. So it takes so much resonance to break through to get this information to our people. And it takes constant resonance at a certain frequency. That's why I said a commercial with a woman, and then the glass breaks because she applied a certain frequency, right? And kept that frequency going, and the glass could not react fast enough to absorb it, so it cracks. So according to Angel, my study and the master, I didn't know that initially, but looking at it and everything else takes 35 years constant, right? Frequency to break through, right? Because right now, it's not people. It's not stuff from their nature; it's their mind, and so you got to break through what's blocking their mind. Their mind's locked, and that's what I'm gonna talk about today. Their mind's locked in, and they got everything they do to keep information coming in. You know, and in fact, remember that thing Willie Lynch? I told you about that slaver. He wrote that book about how to slave. He said the main thing you got to do is keep the light, keep their minds in darkness. Don't let any light in, no light in whatsoever. And all you do is you keep them in captivity. And that's what's going on right now. But you don't see it, you understand it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you fell off a building, 10-story building, a mistake. You didn't mean to. You slipped and fell. It doesn't matter. Gravity's not having. It doesn't have any recognition of. You understand? Of anything that's going to soften the blow when your ass hit that ground. One brother says, "Here, see, come listen." And this is talking about you, if you understand. But if you need to understand this, and once you understand this, then you start looking around. Oh, he's paranoid. Okay. Every paranoid is celluloid. When somebody at dinner table, you should be paranoid. You should be paranoid. We've been here in this situation, we've been for 40 years. In fact, you're not paranoid, it means something wrong with you. Because you trust these people that rape you, beat you, you walk around with crosses on, you got your hip their asses, and you think these people have changed? Have they given this land back to the people? Aren't they supporting false Israel over there in that genocide? Who do you think is responsible for that? Who's supplying the guns and ammunition? They haven't changed. But remember, if you want, you know how they do it shrewdly, just so you don't see it coming. You saw those mob movies. When they're going to kill you, they send you a cousin or somebody you trust. So you drop your guard. Just screw with them. So that means they're going to talk. You're going to be talking nice to you. You know, you want to catch a mouse. What do? You get something you love. You put in that trap. You go for it. That's it. Same with a fish. They love worms. They don't come here and tell you they're going to track you. In fact, the nicer they are to you, the more you should be concerned. Especially at 400-year history. Now they want to do all this stuff for you. Here's brothers and sisters. Let's move on. Okay, I'm going to briefly talk about this now. We'll get into my main point here. Now, I showed yesterday, because I'm just going to cut to the chase here, brothers and sisters. Farrakhan is an agent. Pure and simple, and I can prove it. Right? And all those people with him, they see, you know, one of the things is that I'm going to cut to the chase here, brothers and sisters. Like I said, they need to get rid of us. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons. They got more reasons now than ever before. The guys over here, I could be 5-10 hours. Every time it's so much. The guys over here, because of energy deprivation, they need somebody to work the fields. They rape us, beat us, and everything else. That's why the population are demons. There's mass children, but they're not us. They're skin folk. They ain't kin folk. The enemy. They tell you beware of wolves in sheep clothing, but you sift them. Styles got it all backwards. He go by skin color. Yeah, he was with Elijah. He go, and Les was clear on that. He go by skin color. If you light, then you don't want to bother with you. If you dark skin, and he's supposed to be, he's supposed to be successful to Elijah. Let me move on, brothers and sisters. The situation is that now we have a situation where you got AI. They quietly openly talking about it. They talking about laying off millions of people. Facebook talking about because they don't need people to do these things because they got computers to do these things now. The computers do them. Robots. They even got a robot that can conceive. Oh no, 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 no. This is the way it goes. See, y'all ain't pay attention. They only showed it. You get this female robot, do all the nice things you like to do. No limits. Because it's not conscious, right? You push a button, move it, just go for it. As long as you like. Any way you like it. If you're transgender, they know how to put meat in the back. So with this particular one, right, they had the robot. They had a stomach, glass stomach. You could see in the room in there. And so, they have test tube babies. So you have sex with it, right? The sperm comes in. They automatically mix the sperm with the eggs they already put in there. So test tube is in the oh no, better check it out. So you don't need a real woman anymore. They don't need you anymore. In the first place, they're going to get rid of you. That's one of the reasons I want a war. They don't want a nuclear war, but they want a war. Get rid of as many people as they can. Bill Gates was advertising that. In fact, the way he got around with white folks here, he said, we gotta cut that population in Africa. People there, oh yeah, it's Africans. But they don't realize they're talking about them too, but they can't say them because they get nervous. But they say Africans, oh yeah, well, it's still people, ain't they? Don't need you. That's immediate. You don't need you anyway. But since that come up, it's more immediate. Because right now, they're saying, hey, why I gotta pay these niggas? Popeyes, $10 an hour, whatever. Put a machine in there, do the same damn thing, don't cost me anything. Just fuel and electricity, whatever. That's what's going on right in front of your face right now. Okay? So, and so I'm gonna go through this right. Let me go through this quickly. If you might pay attention to something, still pay attention to these things, because first of all, you're in an emotional plane, and with Farrakhan, because you lack them, you're not thinking. And that's what they want you. They want you on that level. They want you, in other words, if you could take somebody blind, it's easy to catch them, because you'd be right in front of their face and they wouldn't see you. As long as you ain't got no odor or you quiet, you'd be standing right in front of them. Just stab them in his heart, they wouldn't even know it. They want to keep you blind. And the thing is, if you watch, but they were saying specifically Sunday, you ask yourself, why is certain things they will not talk about? This is Farrakhan now. And then you add and subtract, you figure it out. And so, I'm trying to go through this quickly, brothers and sisters, so go look at the one I yesterday, I did in more detail. But let's look at the messenger of the covenant. Now, before I was telling the messenger, they tell you Elijah's the last messenger. They don't tell about anybody behind Elijah. They say, well, what's your vision then? I mean, what's your vision? Everybody asks Farrakhan, what's the vision then? Elijah's gone, so what are we going to do? Oh, well, America's ours. Okay, if it's ours, then what are we going to do with it? Are you preparing for it? You going to take it? How you going to get it? No answers. God give it. Where it says God gave it to us? If you did, how can you know? How you going to get it? How you going to control it? No, these questions never answered. Because you ain't there because it is. You're here Because you think this shit is honey. You love honey. You got a lot of shit. Oh, I was on a message. You shall prepare a way before me, and my Lord, we see, shall suddenly come this temple. They tell you right there. Elijah's not the one he's preparing for someone else. It tells you right there, it's clearly as day. Even a message of the covenant. But wait a minute. It says, and it connects you to something. It said this message is coming, but he's coming about the covenant. What covenant? He's a messenger of the covenant. So there's a messenger coming after Elijah, and his message is the covenant. That's his message. He's the messenger of the covenant. His message is the covenant. So let's go, okay. It's right there. Now, don't tell me the Malachi, because that's the same book. They tell you that you have to, that Elijah's name is mentioned. They tell you that shows proves Elijah's the one you got to be listening to. Because I was I was there doing 70, 75, and they were beating priests over the head with that one. Hey, man, right here, Malachi. His name is Elijah. Okay, right there. This is simple. Okay, let's go on. And see, and behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet. Remember they say, oh, the last prophet Muhammad. Well, down here, it says the prophet. This I didn't put these brackets here. It says come with the scripture. Elijah, prophet, before the coming of great day, dreadful of their Lord. That means he wouldn't come in the David, right? He wouldn't come during the time of this trouble. He'd come before it. So he wouldn't be here right now. If this is a great and dreadful day, he would come before it, before the coming. So he preceded. Right. So what his work was before that, he just turned the hearts of fathers to children, hearts of children to fathers. Said, come right to court case. Turn your eyes back to your people and turn your eyes back to you. That means you got to start acting properly again. Right? But he would precede. So that means he ain't the one that would, right? That means if it was the one to come after him, it's the messenger of the covenant. That's the one who could fill it. It says it right there. I don't have to add and subtract that one. It's right there. So let's look at it. Messenger come, say the same thing, right? Behold, I will send a messenger, he shall prepare the way before me. So he's preparing the way for somebody. Who? The messenger of the covenant. What's preparing? He's preparing this nation, these people, the material you need to work with. That's what he's preparing. He's preparing a nation to hand over to the messenger of the covenant, right? To get you home. Right? That's his preparation. What's going to be preparing? Preparing an army. Suddenly come this temple. Remember, temple, not synagogue, not church, not masjid, not mosque. So I showed you Elijah Muhammad had a temple. Who set up Master Muhammad? Who you delight in? That means the person you like is the one's going to come with good times that you enjoy, your reward. He's coming to reward. Elijah didn't come with it. He said, this will come with it. He will bring reward. Elijah prepared a way for him, and then he will come bring your reward for him. Oh, he shall come, says the Lord. He says, no doubt that he's coming. The Lord said, he's coming. That's my word, his word on it. But they never mention it. How come Farrakhan never one time ever mentioned that? Ever. Ever, never. Right? But who will abide the day of his coming? See? So he just said, so no, he's going to take over. Because he said, as a refiner of purified souls should purify the sons of Levi. There it is. That's in the wide. That's Elijah's people. Levites. That's what we're talking about. Not talking about the elect. You see? This is clear. You don't need the angel for this. Because in this case, they made it clear because this concerns our reward, our salvation. So they made it clear you don't need to decipher anything. This is clear language. When it comes to covenant, the language is crystal clear because they want to make sure you understand you get your reward because you paid the price. So don't you have to go out trying to, if this is right, that's right, or this might deceive you. It's very clear language. Okay. That's mention of covenant, right? Now let's look at the covenant. This is what the covenant is about. This is the covenant he's talking about then. Now, he don't mention him, right? No mention him whatsoever. At any time by Farrakhan, they actually talk about that today. Those verses But it left that verse out. Remember, it says, those who believe in part of the book and discipline the other. Is that what they just did? So let's go and look at the covenant. And the same day, Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, this is a covenant. Now, covenant is not prophecy. It's a deed. It's a contract. It's not prophecy. Other stuff is a prophecy. This is God's word. Made a covenant with Abram, saying, until I see that seed. This only relates to the seed. Only seed. This reward to seed. What they have done. The seed, period. They've been made very clear. It's only to his seed. Have given the land from the river of Egypt to the great river Euphrates. That's Arabia. Okay, so that's where the message of covenant will come, right? And fulfill that covenant. Get you home. That's the covenant. He's the messenger of the covenant. So now he's come to fulfill the covenant. But they don't mention this either. Why they don't mention that one? They talk about the rest of the verse. They don't mention that part. Why? They talk about Sunday. Go and look what they said Sunday. They actually put these verses up there on the board, but didn't mention those. Right? They mentioned this part right here. When sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a great heart, great dark fell upon him. He said to Abram, know as surely that seed shall be a stranger land that is not theirs. They quoted that. They said all of this here. Didn't mention this. Now, why would they mention that? They didn't mention the covenant. They don't mention the covenant either. Why would they not mention the covenant and the covenant? And remember, this covenant is to who? To Abraham's seed. To his seed. So if you're not his seed, you ain't interested in this. In fact, if you're in his seed, you're in trouble because his seed is the one who's going to inherit the earth and make all things new and get rid of all other seeds. Abraham's seed is the one who's going to overcome and get rid. So if you're not Abraham's seed, you're going against this. And you don't want to talk about this anyway. So if they're not talking about this, maybe it's because they're not Abraham's seed. Is that why they're not talking about this? Because they don't mention either one of them. Either verse, both, they read the whole thing except that part. This Farrakhan now. So why is he? Because if he's not Abraham's seed, then obviously he don't want you to know about this. Remember I said deal wisely with them? Because if you this, then you're enemy to them. And you'll overcome, right? So who to them is part of this here, keep you ignorant of this information. Because right now you don't have this information because you think it's belonging to someone else. Farrakhan not telling you this. He said, no, in fact, Farrakhan going further, he said, you going nowhere, so he's calling God a liar. That's if we see Abraham, but he said we ought to see Abraham, so that means he's calling God a liar. Because if we see Abraham, he's calling God a liar because God gave his word right here. Let's keep going, brothers and sisters. Oops. And myself here. So we talk about promised land, the commitment to covenant, and this is what the covenant is. So then it talks about another person. It talks about the God in there, talking about Elijah, talking about the messenger of the covenant, and talking about somebody who's robbing the nation. They don't talk that one either. Somebody's robbing the nation, but the nation belongs to the messenger of the covenant, right? Somebody else has robbed them of it. Remember, he's prepared a way for him. And so he prepared this nation, messenger of the covenant. So somebody's robbing this nation from the messenger of the covenant. Why would he do that? Let's go look and see. Will a man rob God? You have robbed me, but you say, so forth, and ye curse with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. So this other person has robbed the whole nation from the messenger of the covenant. But the messenger of the covenant hasn't come yet because he's going to take you home. But they said we ain't going nowhere, so ain't him. It ain't Master Muhammad. It ain't Elijah. Ain't messing the covenant because the nation is his. That's a lot more prepared for him. So somebody in between there, that stole the nation, has stole the nation from the message of the covenant. Whoever that person is, they curse with a curse. So you got to find somebody that has control of the nation, that's not Elijah, that's not Master Muhammad, not a message of the covenant, because according to the message of the covenant, don't even exist. So God is saying that whoever it is cursed with a curse. You understand, bro? So who could that possibly be? What would a man consider a curse? Short of death. I don't consider death a curse. Death's a blessing if you understand it, but short of that, what would you consider? What man would consider a curse? 10 years in jail? Right? Homeless? I think most men would do both of those. We start talking about castration and this empowerment. You got to talk about a whole different thing altogether. You tell a man, look, man, I tell you what, you can put 5 years in jail, you can be castrated. Give me 10 years. Give me 10. No, man. You see what I'm saying? You gotta take 10, just be sure. You don't change your mind. But so is there someone that fits that description? Let's go back a little further, brother. Says he's robbing, this person's robbing the whole, so they have possession of the nation. Whoever this is, they have possession of the nation, and they curse with a curse. That clear enough for you? If you rob something, you have possession of it. Now this whole nation. So whoever it is, they have possession of it, and they curse with a curse. Okay, and let's look at this. Now, remember, this applies to seed Abraham. Now, who this person is, they must not be seed Abraham. They may not be, but they're not. And you can see that would explain why they have these. Because they're not, the promise not to them. The rest of the covenant is against them. And the nation that's prepared, that's the army that's going to get rid of everybody else, and them, including them too, if they ain't seed. They want to get hold of that and make sure it never knows about the message of the covenant, about the covenant. And it makes no knows about any of that kind of stuff, right? Because that's what a war is, mental war. And so we stop this from knowing. Remember, Willie Lynch, keep in darkness. So if you not see Abraham, that's what you would want. Right? So let's see Abraham, see who Abraham is. Uh-oh. Having this problem again, brother and sister. Hold on. There you go. Oh, that's Farrakhan there. That's his dad. Wait, I thought he was light-skinned Jamaican. No, he's Caucasian. Straight hair too, you know. He's Caucasian. And I remember Farrakhan did say his mother was raped by a white man. That's why she tried to abort him 3 times, because she knew what's going to come out look like, white or what. Tried to abort him 3 times. That might be a record. So he's not seed Abraham. So that means he's an enemy of Abraham, and he don't want Abraham to be successful, because Abraham's success is destruction. The success of the spring is destruction of winter. The success of spring is destruction of winter. So he would want to keep. Right. Remember, now, the devils, they not see Abraham too. So they have the same motivation. But the thing is, remember, they got to deal shrewdly with them. So they can't let you see it coming. You got to do shrewdly with them. You can see it coming. So they can't come and do this because you see it coming. Because hey, that's the devil there. You might see the devil, but you know why. So you'd be nervous because hey, why a white person doing it? Right? So it might not be so believable. So you got to get somebody that looks like us, shrewdly, so they won't see it coming, but ain't us. You got to send a wolf in there with sheep clothing on. If you send that wolf in there And the sheep gonna run like hell. Man, something wrong. They know right away, instinctively, they know, man. Hey, that's a wolf there, man. Get the hell out of here. I don't care what he says. If he comes in with a sheepskin, then you're gonna listen and everything else because they're thinking one of you. Even though he's talking, still sound like a wolf. His motivation is a wolf. That's Farrakhan there. That's Farrakhan. He made, right? Because, like I said, why he's not telling you about the Abrahamic covenant? He's not telling you about the promised land, right? He has control of the nation, which is not his, because the nation belongs to the messenger of the covenant. He says he's not messenger of the covenant. So if he got the nation, it's not his. He's robbing the nation. If you rob something, you have something that doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to him because I tell you it belongs to the messenger of the covenant. He doesn't say he's the messenger of the covenant. So you got something that don't belong to him, he keeping it from the messenger of the covenant. When man robbed God. So and that's it. He's not the messenger, so he'd be against it. Against it. Not just against the covenant, but against the people of the covenant. Yeah, look at there. Tongue kissing. We ain't kissing the tongue with lips then. We ain't touching lips. Something touching something somewhere. Man, woof. Really? I showed someone they got mad. Man, that's Photoshop. Oh man, if they had been present in my physical presence, I would have to kill that fool. Because that person, man, I mean, that phone got so hot, I had to drop it. That phone got so hot when oh man, my phone was overheating. Because he couldn't bear to bleed at death. Because his nature's telling him something wrong with that. But his mind saying, hey man, they're almost both almost white or whatever.
Washington, D.C. Louis Farrakhan suspects that his father may have been Jewish. At least that's what he tells Henry Louis Gates Jr. in the current issue of the New Yorker magazine.
Listeners, brothers and sisters, now coming at the end.
Washington, D.C. Louis Farrakhan suspects that his father may have been Jewish. At least that's what he tells Henry Louis Gates Jr. in the current issue of the New Yorker magazine. Speaking of his father's white Portuguese parents, the Nation of Islam leader said, "I'm going to tell you something. You really want to know what I think? I think they were members of the Jewish community." He added, "I believe that in my blood, and not in a bad way. Because when I was a little boy I used to love listening to the Jewish cantors in Boston. They had a program, and every week I would listen. I was struck by the cantor, and I've always loved the way they sing or recite the Torah." Gates, citing an academic source, says Farrakhan's assertion about his lineage is highly probable given that nearly all people of Iberian descent in Jamaica and Barbados are of Sephardic Jewish ancestry. Farrakhan was born in 1933, the son of May Clark, who was from Barbados. He was named Gene after his father, a light-skinned man with straight hair from Jamaica. His father, Gates writes, was a philanderer whom the family rarely saw. "If in my lineage there are Jews, I would hope that in the end, before my life is over, I not only will have rendered a service to my own beloved community of black people but will also the Jewish community."
That's enough of that. It says grandfather is on his father's side. White Caucasian Portuguese, that means the devil. See, Abraham, That explain anything? So he would view us as an enemy. So for him, he would view us as an enemy. He would view us as an enemy. And so he would try to do everything he can to stop our rise. That's why he doesn't talk about the message of the covenant, because it's not a message for him, because the covenant doesn't apply to him. He wants to prevent the messenger of the covenant from doing his job, because his job is for us to rise up in their destruction. Is that up for you, brothers and sisters? He's not see Abraham, so he was more motivated. And the thing is, remember, but it's not him that's saying to deal true with them, the devils. So this would be their plan. So he'd be working for them. And they sent him in because this goes them in themselves. They'd be obvious. Hey. So they send somebody incognito that looks like us. It's one of them. Undercover. Because they didn't say they're going to stop doing it. So if he's not it, then what? They're planning. It said they're planning. So is this their plan? Because he's working for them. He's under their control, which he is. Because if he wasn't, that means they're on the same page, and he figured out. He ain't that smart anyway. Say the connection between those things I told you, but message of the covenant itself, right? And the seed, because now they try to cover the seed up, right? Because they're lying about the seed. They're lying about something that's so biologically clear. Oh, it doesn't matter. See, so why is he trying to cover up the fact he's a devil? It doesn't matter who your mother father is. Because God made you in the womb, which is a goddamn lie. So he's trying to cover the fact he's not the seed of Abraham. So why is he doing that? Remember, it's the devils that want to act shrewdly. And so this is their shrewd plan. He's their go-to man. Look like us. They're doing their will. They're truly. Move on, brothers and sisters. I'm not going into detail about this, brothers and sisters. I'll try to explain to you about the Bible, the sealed Bible, unsealed Bible, Quran, and their purpose. The book for this time right now, this period of time, is Angel. And it's going to make all things new. So it's an angel, and it's the angel's criteria that had a knowledge base to do just that, which would make all things new. It means all the old says, none of the old things remembered. It means Sunnism, all that's been totally blown away, eradicated. We can't eradicate the Quran. Wait, who's good? Did Abraham have a book? He actually walked with God, didn't he? What was his guidance? You ever seen a book? No. They've been writing books for what? Every 25,000 years? So where are those books? Because they're not relevant anymore. There's the powers of the Quran for that period of time. They tell you, oh, the Quran is forever. Yet they don't understand anything about it. Hold on to the bullshit. There's a consequence for it. Blow away all that. Blow away all of it. The angel explains everything. Move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, I'm going to step through this and I'm going to let it run. So here's Elijah. He's preparing the way for the covenant, so he prepared an army. What happened to it? Thousands of brothers there. What happened to them? Under Elijah's command, they depart. What happens? As soon as they depart, what happens? Then his son, who was actually on exile, he was actually exiled. They won't tell you that part. He was exiled, was there. I exiled him, bad-mouthed him, and all kinds of other stuff. He bad-mouthed him. He was in the same position under Elijah Muhammad as Ishmael is under Farrakhan. He was the spokesman for the temple number 2. They called it number 2 at the time. He go astray, and he bad-mouthed, and they finally put him out permanently. Right? So he took over. February 26th, I guess it was 1975. This is FYI. And then they got rid of it. They got rid of NOI. They started to call it Bolivians. There was no FOI, NOI. He got rid of it. Started Bolivians. Right by his side. Okay. And there it is. Now the NOI is gone. Here's him. He's Farrakhan's his assistant, his right-hand man, top minister. Yeah, that was Farrakhan was. He says he realized that wow, there's all this bad stuff, and of course people go gray hairs and all that kind of stuff. But he was still with him 3 years later. So well, if you knew all this, why were you still with him? Because you thought you was gonna get paid, and when they got the money, they gave you nothing. There it is. Now see, that's they're working together. And then what? And then Farrakhan, when he saw they tricked him, and the family got together, got hold of the money, and didn't give him a damn thing. So that he broke away, ran to Bernard Kushner. He told him that he rebuilt the army. He put it back together. I'm not say rebuilt it. He put it back together. Rebuild the Nation of Islam. It was gone. They had destroyed it. So he calls up putting it back together, right? That's what he claims. And what? He went back together. He went back under Sunnism. Scientology, working the golden calf. He made him a laughing stock for the enemies. See, they actually prayed the enemies. The Sunni, their enemies. They stole their land. It was, golden calf, Sunnism. I'm saying? So that's what he did. He didn't bring Nation of Islam back. He brought it back with Scientology, Sunnism, whatever. I did. But he claimed he represented Elijah. That's not Elijah. Understand that? So let's move on. And then he put a shield around it. Maybe he stole it, and now he want to protect it. Okay? So he's got all this stuff out there. Remember, the government is behind all this. The government protecting it, and all this media stuff, and all this stuff out there, and all these false prophets, everything out there. Right? To remember, the protection is to keep the people understand who they are. It's a long mind war. So protective barrier, so they would never figure who they are. They protect a negative, right? And part of it is false Israel. No, false Israel, right? You call them synagogue, Satan, but some of them, say he held some of the 9-1, but he's not saying anything about God's, is he? You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on here. So long as false is that sign to false Israel, then they must be the one the prophecy is speaking to. He said indirectly. That's what he's saying. So so he put the false. He's going along that side too, because remember he's working for the devil too. So some are bad, some are good. Okay. So now he had possession of it, and he's getting a safeguard to make sure they never get division, because they're giving this false dream. They never get division. Right? They choose Abraham. Then here come 1990. Here comes Suleiman. He's coming with the angel. Right? We got to break through that barrier they set up to keep other people knowing who they are. They got that false Israel, all these liars out there, child chick, and all that kind of stuff. Remember, the government says they own by most of those, not all of them. The zero deleted. names and everything else. He's going to try to break that barrier to get to our people. See, that barrier is keeping our people. The truth of what's going on, they hide it from them. They keep them blind to it. Right? It finally breaks through 2025, right? Right, finally breakthrough. And have investments build up, finally breakthrough. Because he haven't worked in the golden calf, mythology, whatever. Right? Finally, business. Finally broke through. Kept beating 35 years, finally broke through. And take out Farrakhan. First thing he does. Drones are cast down. Destroy Farrakhan. Just take him out, destroy him. Right? That people still mixed up. Got some demons, everything all mixed up, say. Get rid of him. Get rid of this golden calf. You worship the golden calf. Right? And when they attack us, they close in on you. Chapter already set. Now they're closing in for kill. Because now they see you about to wake up. Think Farrakhan's going. False Israel's going. And things would keep you asleep. They're going like they're there anymore. False Israel's going. Farrakhan's going. Stay here. We ain't going. So now you know that all that was lies. He's out it. False Israel's out it. And now America's got to close it on you quick. America's whole purpose is to stop you from rising. They try to stop it mentally, but now that's gone. So now they got to attack you physically. They attack us. And that force you to come to squeeze a seemingly great army. Because now you're under pressure. Transforms you. Either positive transformation or negative transformation. But we have so much structure cause us to come back together. Right? Come back together. You see, straight army corresponds to the pressure they put in the sun because they're attacking us. So you need an army to protect you from an army. You get it? Yeah. And then now it's got a battle between. They wasn't able to take us out. Those survived. Now it's a battle. Running battle between us and them. Do done them double as they done to you. Consequence. It's a see the great army. Give them to the Lamb, right? Once you get their mind back, you give them the Lamb, you get their mind back. And you choose from amongst them those that lead them through tribulation. And that mission is over. You understand, brothers and sisters? You increase the frequency, you can't decrease the frequency. Increase for you might have quicker. Increase it, you got to start over again. Here's a resonance. I'm getting messages from my here. This is this equipment, so I don't know if it's working or not. Now, America. Yes, resonance, brothers and sisters. Finally broke through. Okay, I'm gonna let it run, brothers and sisters. About half an hour, whatever. So resonance, keep on. Finally break through. Go on. Finally break through. We understand, brothers and sisters. This shows, if you understand all and pay attention. But you don't pay attention now, you pay attention when Master Father pulls the switch Some of you not going to make it. Because see, you're going on the fire. If they tell you you have to flee, first you have to know to flee to begin with. If you don't know to flee, you're dead. If they tell you got to flee, it means your life is in danger. So if your life is in danger, you don't know it's in danger, you're dead. Like, if a lion's coming and you don't know it's coming, you're going to be lying shit in a minute. But you see it coming and you got the hell out of there. And now people don't even know to flee. You know what to look for. They don't know that situation even going to happen applies to them. So if they don't know time to kind of flee. And so the thing is, that's why Master Muhammad make his move. And that was the whole point of, I under control of the Messenger of the Covenant, because it says he gave them their mind back. And they was go out and tell everybody else. But said this gospel preaching all the world. Then the end will come. So we preach before the end will come. I don't know if pay attention to that. So that tells you, this gospel telling you who you need, who you are, who everyone else is, what you need to do, and the situation you're in, and what that flee is all about. That's what it's going. So you won't get the information. You get the information. So this guy preaching all the world, then it will come. So you get the information, or will you? Because you depend on the Levites in order to give it to you. That's what it says. It says, I gave your mind back now. You got to wait here and get, because the lamb and elect is going out here. No, you got to go back and tell your people. But the way it looks right now, I don't know. The Levites don't see you. They can't get them started. Can't get them started. Can't get them motivated. They think just saying something, or God and say something every now and then, or repeating what I say and everything else. Well, I mean, if they repeat what I say accurately and correctly, it's actually resonance. It does do that. But they don't even have that. They don't do that. But what's good doing that? What's good adding your resonance? If I have to stop doing mine, you do yours. I might as well do mine. If I got to hit tap one time a day, right? That's the resonance. And then I got to push you to tap for 2 days. And I'm not tapping. So now you tapping one day for 2 days. Why do I need to be doing that? Then you might not even do it correctly. Because I might as well do it myself. Because if you just repeat what I'm saying, then you ain't doing it right. So I stop for 2 days to get you to go for 2 days. Why do I need to do that? And then you may even be right. Why do I need to do that? I don't need to do that. I'm not going to do it. So, like I said, they had 35 years. They had 40 years on Elijah repair. Do that. 30 years on me. Do that. And look, I can't say for sure, but they're going to have 5 months on the tribulation. I don't know how they take this. They take this good, bad, personally. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't give a damn. I keep telling you, I'm here to tell you exactly what it is, how things are, and what you need to do. And me telling you a lie is not going to help you. Well, if I tell you a lie, well, it may help you. I know your house is going to burn down. I know you ain't going to do nothing about it. So if I don't tell you, at least you enjoy you enjoy NFL to the last touchdown, then get burned up. At least you get that out of it. Otherwise, right, you're going to jump up and run around. You're going to get out the house. You're talking about got the house. So now you don't see the end of the game, and then you got burned up anyway. So it matter up, just leave you alone. Because at least you got the end of the game, you know. Because that's pretty much, you got to lead by example. And I've got 35 years example. Everybody knows I'm on a case. And I don't have to be. In a way I do, because of Promises made. We keep our promises. I think we've been way, above and beyond with the God coming, messing it 40 some years, me 35. I think we've kept our part of the bargain. Okay, let me let it play, brothers and sisters. Yeah, that's it. Assalamu alaikum.
How's we gonna make it? Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. The heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Put it back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And the ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship, and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will. You are now turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting so? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man said you were free. Remember that.
you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to to their will. You are now turning your face from your on-native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you are free. Remember that.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here, Veteran of Covenant. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's been a year now, and we're finally home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. Finally home after 40 years. Right? And so we've been here a year now. And there was an agreement made. A former slave master, he said, we had a choice. Stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance, Arabia. So we left. And half the original people decided they wanted to give up their inheritance and traded for a place in America in reconciliation with their former slave master. That's their choice. They chose, said, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go over there sand and all that stuff. We want to stay here in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And we can make peace with our slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we get reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given, they got 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, they got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. You know, they was listening to Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, you know, they stay there, 6 states, right? Had their own land. And they can make reconciliation with former slave masters. They're not devils. They're not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, you know, they were just, you know, did some things wrong, but now they, you know, they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody stayed $1 million. Okay? Say, thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. Man, you got 6 states. That's what you promised us. We got 6 states. They're thanking you. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? And you know, I mean, this was a year ago. They got the 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. And they're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. Hey, we came here. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. We got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago when we left. Okay, so we're in Arabia. They're still back there in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. Right? And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And it's just those 6 states. Right? So, and now they had a big master. They came asking to turn the power. Well, why can't they do it? Oh, Farrakhan didn't train anybody. He was telling you about 6 states, but he never prepared you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So now he's begging, man, master, can you come and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told him 6 states to promise him that he would have prepared him for it, right? Their schools and education, whatever they needed for that. But now I guess they didn't, because they say over there now he's begging the former master to come and turn the power back on. And then what? I mean, this is all that's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now. A year later, it's like they're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? Then say, oops, crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no. They say they looked and the farmers when they done the farmers said, oh. So then they had master, what's happening here? How come right? Our crop. They found that the land they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, nothing's growing. Crop failure. And now master, what's happening here? Right? And then, I mean, all these things, every hour that's coming in, right? And then they look, and they had, a year ago they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? And now, they look there now and all the food's gone. It's gone. She said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So he said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't produce your own food? I mean, you want your own country. You got your own states. That's your country. Then you run it. What are you calling us for? Right? So they're praying. And then, oops, no fuel. There's master, no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money, right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. And you got your reparation, so we don't owe you anything anymore. We don't owe you anything anymore, so what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of your inheritance, what you call the Abrahamic covenant, Arabia. Your brothers and sisters, they left, they took, that was offered to them, they took it. And you said, no, I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh, man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on, Master? Wait a minute, hold on. What you calling us for? That's yours. You got to handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff is coming every hour, man. Instead of like a year, they was celebrating. And now they're crying and begging the master, hey, look at all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's yours. Where'd you come about your problems? You have to work those out. Right? No transportation, I mean, no planes from nowhere. We're on about a flight of planes and they drive the trucks and the boats and stuff and to go and get this stuff. Well, what you done that for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you calling for? Yeah, Master, we see this. You said you wanted 6 states, you got it. You want $1 million per person. That was your reparations. So then if you didn't prepare people to take care of this, how is that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel, the gas station's empty. I can't drive, man. And no gas. Man, wow. All this stuff happened like for a year. They thought that everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So I guess what happened? Everything was there when they got it, and then it ran out. They had to, for them to replace the fuel, to get the farms going. So they was left with that stuff. The factory was full. I mean, warehouses full. Then you had to keep they thought that was just going to, I guess they thought it was just going to be there, just by itself. They didn't prepare for it. See? And they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They ain't, business, they didn't train anybody. So Farrakhan, he told you he's going to get this for you, but he didn't prepare you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So now he asked the master, said, hey, don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you wanted reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, call on your brothers over there. They left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? See? You don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? I mean, that's what, because if you're going to set reparation, you should be preparing for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be preparing for it. If he said, God said that's where he's going to get you, so if God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, to only build an ark, so he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states and the reparations, but apparently you didn't. And so now, it does say, look, hold it. We want total separation. Look, we don't want you to call us no more. We don't want you to call us no more. Because you're wearing us. You want your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, $1 million, all this stuff, right? And so now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you had to really create your own money. You have to do all these things, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. That's all economics. So they go and tell it. They tell all the people all the white folks, right? All the black folks, and all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. You had to be one way or the other. There couldn't be no integration, that kind of stuff. That's the deal. You just said one or the other. So all the black folks are there, ain't no integration, that kind of stuff, right? Black folks are there, one or the other, so they're there. So he said, okay, right? So they just say, we're going to take that money because we don't know what y'all doing over there. You have your own money, you have your own wealth. So what they do is they tell all the white folks, say, protect your money, right? Transfer your money into gold. Transfer all your dollars into gold. Okay. Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million a piece. So everybody got $1 million a piece, right? And so they transfer it to gold. And then what happens is that what they do is they start just printing money. White folks just start printing money. You understand what that means? That's inflation, right? Because if you got $1 million of gold, a million ounces of gold, say 1 million ounces of gold, understand this, and you got 1 million certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got 1 million ounces, your certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. If you want to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold, right? But if you take and print, you say you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one. But say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now, because you got to connect that to the gold. Well, you print 4 times, then each one is worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they worth, because those certificates has to equal what the gold is. You understand? So the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, there's less gold. You understand? So if $1 is worth 1 ounce of gold, which that's right, then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's what printing money without increasing their wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is they keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. But see, that doesn't affect their people. They told to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. It still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You had $1 million, now your $1 million worth of $5. That's what all it's worth. $1. Hardly worth anything. Oh, what about you? Hey, that's our money. You gotta have your own money, you control your own wealth. You can't keep coming at us what you're doing. And you think they wouldn't do that? Yeah, you been a Gaza lately? You see what happened to the trees they made with the so-called natives? Kept telling me you had a forked tongue because they kept making trees with them, then they broke the trees. And took their land and genocide and everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you bury it up, throw it away, it's worth nothing. The people still got gold. And even if they take it, hold on the money, hope to increase again, they just use another different certificate, use another form of money. So it's still worth nothing. That $1 million you had, you was so happy with now, it's probably worth maybe $1. So you can't buy anything with $1. Plus the economy's collapse because everything is failing, and you don't know how to repair it. You don't know how to get those communications. You don't know how to do any of this stuff. You don't know how to engineer, build a house. You don't know how to do anything because Farrakhan didn't. Right? He didn't prepare you. He told you he'll give you 6 days. He told you, listen to me, right? So now you're broke, and your economy is gone. You have no food, no electricity, no power, anything, right? It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You still had your inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you're going to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. That's what you chose. You stay there. They closed the border, so you can't get back in here. You can't get back in America, into what you could call your land now. Swaziland or something? Farrakhan. Maybe call it Traveland. Farrakhan. They got the Farrakhan. Right? So they close the borders, you can't. Because now you're hungry and everything else, your money's worthless. Oh God, come back, Master, I'll come back work for you, I'll work for Popeyes, I'll do anything you want. No, remember, now blacks, either they over in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, in places, just in that land that you 6 states. And now you're starving, you ain't got your money's worthless, nothing works, and they close the border. Right? And then you see Master, you on the phone, you talking to the guy that you kept treating, help you. Hey, we finally got rid of niggas. Finally got rid of them. See, on the phone. Yeah, it worked. We sold them no reparations. We sold them that used car. They turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. See? They could have had a BMW. They could have had a Lamborghini. They sold that for a BMW that looked good. Damn thing didn't work. And now they're starving, living in tents. Praying. So what? And what next? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? You told us to take reparations, so we did. But they gave us everything we asked for. What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do? Pray. That's his answer. Pray. That's your reparations. Like Elijah Muhammad said, he had a big picture. We leaving, and blacks staying on the shore, the ones stay behind, and they was whooping their ass. Right? Because they all thought you think they want to give you some land and take care of you? You think they want to do that? And go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million? You know how much that is? If it's 17 million, if it's 17 million times 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that there. Then they're gonna do all that for you. They want to get rid of you. So now they've succeeded. Because they closed the border. What you gonna do? You gonna fight to come out? They closed the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. One group's out of here, another group that's here. They're gone, and our hands are clean. We gave them what they wanted. Well, anything. Okay. God honors contracts. Remember, he honored the contract with Jacob. Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob, when it was Esau's inheritance, and God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Pharaoh ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. And this homeland you was promised, you know, you rejected it. So now you got what you asked for. So if they gave you reparations today or tomorrow, how would that scenario not play out like that? Well, they say, okay, you got it. Tell me how the scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they're going to say, okay, we're going to take care of them. I mean, why should they go out their way to take care of you when you was right here? You was working at Popeyes and living in the get up on Section 8, all that stuff right here where they, because you know they're trying to get rid of that stuff right now. Trump's trying to get rid of all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you, you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening over in America. Wow. Of course, come here. Disaster over there. And I just got a call. Oh, wait, hold on. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know what they call it Conland or something. I forgot what they something they call it right there. That 6th day. They begged us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them and bring them? Oh no. Now he went and asked Master Farah Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. And I agree with that. Yeah, the bastard said he said, let's call him, and he passed the word to Master Farah Muhammad. Master Muhammad said, send him back. Master, no, we can't come and get you. You made your choice, live with it. Or die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't believe that. They actually, right, sent a message over. I don't know how they did. I don't have any communication with it. Somehow they got the information over to him. Said, would we please come and get him? Nope. Said, no, tell him no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land, you got your reparations, you got your money, you got Farrakhan as your leader. Yeah, tell him, talk to him, let him straighten out for you. He didn't want to sell you the idea. He was a salesman. So you on that idea of reparations. We told you. Right? Suleiman, right? He was the messenger to you, telling you, look, man, let's go home. You said no. You chose not to. Okay, well, since that's a sad story. But I guess that's it. Is that it? Oh, they're not getting more reports on this. Okay, he says that was Matthew Prophet Muhammad's final decision, and I think they closed communications off from there. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, we got those guys that came in. All that came in today, man. Came in fast. After a whole year, total collapse. Now they begging it. Somebody help them. We can't do it. Maybe Master help you. We won't do it. Assalamu alaikum. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in that they said, well, if you want to come and get us, well, we at least send them some food. They begged, said, please send them some food. Master Muhammad said, no, we got to send them a damn thing, nothing, zero. He said, please just send some food. No, I just got that in. He says, if you can't come and get us, please send some food. He says, no. He refused. I said, boy, I just got the information from the ambassador. He said, they sent that, and he's read to me. He says, no. He said, please, just please send us some food. He said, no, no way. You made your choice, case closed. Okay, just got that in, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.